Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the web series of Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad. We are dealing with Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana. Today we are going to learn about the 13th chapter of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana, that is the Snehadhyaya. So let's start. त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः अथ अतः स्नेहाध्यायं व्याख्यास्यामः इति हस्माः भगवान् आत्रेयः. So we are expounding the chapter of Charaka Samhita Sutra Sthana, 13th chapter, that is the Snehadhyaya. Now we can see that this particular chapter belongs to the next Chatushka. That is, earlier we have discussed about the Nirdesha Chatushka. Now it is the chapter which is belonging to the Kalpana Chatushka. Here you can see that the Bheshaja Kalpana, that is, we have already studied that there are a number of factors which are influencing the treatment, diagnosis and treatment of diseases. So when you consider different solutions, there are certain guidelines which have been already told in the Nirdesha Chatushka. Now next we need some equipments, that is the things which are, or instruments which are used for the purpose of the solution. Now if you want to handle anything, you need some instruments, you need some upakarana. So these upakaranas are what? The Bheshaja. Upakarana is what is Bheshaja in Ayurveda. So these upakarana, how you are going to make the combinations of these upakaranas so that you can alleviate the disease or even prevent the disease, that has been explained in the Kalpana Chatushka. So therefore in these 4 chapters, that is Sneha Adhyaya, Svedadhyaya, Upakalpaniya Adhyaya and Chikitsa Praprati Adhyaya, we will be learning about the things which we can do the Kalpana. Kalpana means how to do the Vyavastha or how to do the Yoga, and mainly maintain the different kinds of diseases, or we can maintain the swasthya of an individual. So going on with the chapter, you can see that Sankhyehi Sankhyaata Sankhyehi Sahasinam Punarvasum Jagathitartham Prapacha Vanhivesha Swasamshayam. So Vanhivesha or Agnivesha has samshaya regarding many of the aspects related to the Sneha, that is the different Kalpana. The first thing which is taken is the Sneha. So he asks around 25 questions in the further subsequent shlokas. That is, Kim yonayaha kati snehaha kecha snehagunaha pratak kalanupane ke kasya kati kasha vicharanaha kati matraha katam manaha kacha keshu padishyate kascha kebhyo hitah snehaha prakarshaha snehane chakaha snehaha keke cha snigdha asnigdha atisnigdha lakshanam kim panat pratamam pite जीर्णे किंच हिताहितं के मृदु क्रूर कोष्ठाः का व्यापदः सिद्धयश्चकाः अच्छे संशोधने चैव स्नेहे का वृत्तिरिष्यते विचारणाः केषु योज्या विधिना केन तत्प्रभो स्नेहस्य अमितविज्ञानं ज्ञानम् इच्छामि वेदितुम्. So here the Amita Vijnana, Amita means there is no end for this particular knowledge, of course, but the Agnivesha is asking Punarvasu Atreya to expound or to explain the all the aspects related to the Sneha. That is, what are the yonis of Sneha, how many types of Sneha are present, which is the best Sneha which can be used, what is the Prayoga Kala of Sneha, how it has to be used, what is the Matra of it, who all should can take this particular Sneha, what should be the Matra of the Sneha, what is the Pravara, Uttama and the Avana Matra of Sneha, what are the Samyak Sneha Lakshanas, what is the benefit of having these particular Snehas separately or in combination with the other Snehas, or combination in the Rasa, etc. Or you can also see that how this particular Atisnigdha, Snigdha and Asnigdha Lakshanas, that is the Samyak Yoga, Ati Yoga and Ayoga of the Sneha, everything has been asked. So now there are 25 questions which have been asked in these particular shlokas by Acharya Agnivesha. Punarvasu Atreya now will expound the chapter one by one with specific importance to the Sneha that is specific importance to especially the Chaturveda Sneha he is explaining. So in the further shloka, subsequent shloka, you can see Atha tat samchayascheta pratyuvacha punaraso. In order to get rid of the samshaya, that is, in order to explain all these samshayas, he is going to explain everything. Snehanam dvividha soumya yonayah sthavara jangama. So the first question which is asked by Acharya Agnivesha is, what are the yoni of the sneha? That is, what is the source of the sneha? How do we get the sneha? So he says that there are two yonis of sneha. What are they? Snehanam dvividha soumya yoni sthavara jangamaha. There are two sources of sneha. One source is the sthavara yoni, and the other source is the jangama. That is, with one with the sthavara means the vegetable source or the plant source, and jangama means the animal source. So there are two sources of the sneha. So therefore the first question is answered now. Then further it has to be explained that what are those sneha, what are those sthavara sneha, and what are the jangama sneha. That has been explained in the subsequent shloka. In the shloka number 10, the sthavara snehas have been explained. What are they? Tilaha, priyalaha, abhishuka, then vibhitaka, chitra, abhaya, eranda, madhuka, sarshapa, kusumba, bilva, aruka, aruka mula, aruka, mulaka, atasi, nikocha, akshoda, karanja, shigruka. So these are the sneha, these are the sthavara dravyas by which we can extract the sneha. So we have a list of sthavara snehas which have been listed. Of course, the quantity of the sneha which is derived from the these vegetable sources may be different, or many of them may not be used everything for the consumption, like in general nowadays. But earlier, at least the some of the sneha, that is whatever for sneha was beneficial for the consumption, or especially for the treatment also. Many times for treatment it will be more beneficial. For example, karanja taila is used externally for different purposes, especially in kushta, etc. So therefore, or even sarshapa taila. In the second chapter of Sutrasthana, you might have seen that all the bahya parimarjana which has been told. Sorry, the third chapter. In the third chapter of Sutrasthana, you have the in the Aragvadati Adhyaya, that any lepa, whenever it is done, the taila which is used before the application of the lepa is the sarshapa taila. So sarshapa taila is used there as a kushtahara dravya, right? So therefore, you can see that it is important for us to understand what are the sources of the sneha, which all can be used for maybe externally or internally. Both have been considered here. So tilaha priyala abhishuka, vibhitaka, abhaya, eranda, madhuka, sarshapa, kusumba sneha, bilva sneha, that is bilva taila, then arushaka, aruka, then mulaka, atasi, nikochaka, akshoda, karanja, and shikru. These are considered to be the sthavara sneha, or the sneha which is derived from the vegetable sources. Okay. Then snehashayaha sthavara sannitas tatha syuhu jangama matsyamruga sapakshinaha. So next we have the list of the sneha which can be derived out of what all jangama. Jangama means the ones which can move. That is matsya, mruga, sapakshinaha. It can be either taken from the matsya adi. We know that this cod liver oil, that is the liver oil of the fish, certain types of fish, is considered very much beneficial and is rich in vitamin E, etc. Right? So you can also see that matsya sneha is also considered here. Of course, it is not used much in the prayoga, that is aushadha prayoga, but of course it is mentioned. Matsya, mrugaha, sapakshinaha. Tesham, that is from them. You can also see that from them whatever is derived, that is from the mruga pakshinaha, whatever is derived, that will be used as the sneha. So you can see that tesham dhati kshira ghritam amisham vasa sneheshu majjacha tathopadishyate. So you can see that dhati, that is the curd, kshira, milk, ghrita, that is the ghee which is derived out of the takra, then amisham means the mamsa, Amisha is mamsa. Then vasa, that is shuddha mamsa sneha. The snehamsha of the mamsa is considered as vasa. Then sneheshu majja cha tathopadishyate. So majja also, that is the bone marrow of these of any kind of animal, is considered to be the one of the sneha, jangama sneha. Okay, so these are the list of the jangama sneha. What are they? Dadi, kshira, grita, amisha, vasa, then majja. All these things has been considered as jangama sneha. So among these, which is considered to be the best? Because there are always there will be a list of dravyas which will be explained, but we need to see what are the best ones which we can adopt. So therefore, sarvesham taila jatanam tilatailam vishishyate. So among all the varga, that is all the tailas, you can see that taila jatanam, whatever oils which we derive from the this thing. You know that from the vegetable oils mainly the taila only is derived, right? That is taila means the oil which is extracted from all the vegetable sources, that from the sthavara sneha. So therefore, sarvesham taila jatanam, among these sthavara snehas, tila taila is considered to be the best one. Okay, balarthe, why? Because it is balarthe snehane cha agrim erandam tu virechane. Balakrim, that is it is balartha, it is used for snehana and also it can be used for balavardhana. Then you have one more sneha called the eranda sneha. So eranda is considered to be the best for virechana. Why? Because in the bracket you can see a shloka that is it may be a addition of from some other manuscript, that is why it will be given in brackets. It may not be present in the Moola, right? But anyway, it will be beneficial for us to study this, because it is giving the guna of the eranda taila. Katushnam tailam erandam vatasleshma haram guru. It is katu, katurasa, ushna virya, then tailam erandam. This particular eranda taila is vatasleshma hara. It can reduce the vata as well as sleshma, and it is guru also. Then kashaya swado tiktesha yojitam pittahantrapi. So it is pittahara also. Why? Because it is having kashaya swado and tiktarasa. Because of having the madhura, tikta and kashaya rasa, it can do the pittaharana also. Therefore, it will be beneficial to use against the pitta vikara also, especially for virechana. Therefore, for virechana, of course, virechana is a karma wherein we are going to eliminate the excessive pitta, dushta pitta from the sharira. So if the sneha which you are giving is also having the pitta haratva properties, then it will be more beneficial. That is why eranda tail is considered to be one of the best dravyas for virechana. Among the sneha, that is any kind of sneha if you consider, so sarpistaila vasamancha sarva snehottama mataha. Sarva sneha means all the sneha whichever you consider, that is it may be sthavara or jangama. We have now a combination, and we have 4 sneha or 4 kinds of sneha dravyas which are considered to be the best, or which are considered to be the most beneficial in treatment. What are they? They are sarpihi, tailam, vasa, majja. Sarva snehottama mata. Sarva snehottama means all the sneha. If you compare, then you get 4 dravyas or 4 sneha dravyas which are very, very beneficial. Yeshu cha uttamam sarpihi samskarasya anuvartanat. Among those, you have one more as the best. That is, among the 4, one is considered to be the best. Which one? Usually the first one will be the best. Whenever I explain the order of explanation, usually the best one will be told first. Therefore, sarpi is considered to be the best. Why sarpi is considered to be the best? Why sarpi is considered to be the best? Because samskarasya anuvartanat. Samskarasya anuvartanat means there will be the samskara, whatever samskara is done to the grita or the sarpi, it will not leave its own properties. That is, it is having shitatva, and also it is having agniyatva. That is, it can do agnidepana. So these 2 properties, the shitatva of the grita is never lost. Even if it is processed with any kind of ushna virya dravyas, it will not leave its shitatva. It will not leave its snigdhatva. Whereas in taila, you can see that this anuvartana doesn't happen. That is, if you combine any shita dravya along with taila, then the taila becomes shita. If you combine with ushna virya dravyas, then it will become ushna. You can see that many of the tailas what we use, For example, you have this Kottam Chukkadi Taila, or if you consider this Brihat Saindavadi Taila, or any other Taila like that, it will become Ushna when you add with the Ushna Virya Dravyas. If you add with Shita Virya Dravyas, for example, Chandanadi Taila, etc., you add the Shita Virya Dravyas along with that, then it will become Shita, Himasagra Taila, etc. It becomes more Shita. Why? You are adding the Shita Virya Dravya along with that. So Taila has the property of absorbing whatever gunas the other Dravya is giving to it, and it will become like that. But Sarpi is having this particular property of not leaving its property. That is called as Samskarasya Anuvartanat. It will not leave its property, it will not leave its Shita Guna, or it will not leave its the Snigdha Guna. It will not leave its Agni Deepana property. It will not leave. So therefore, that is one of the best qualities of Sarpi. Therefore, it is considered as Geshucha Uttamam Sarpihi Samskarasya Anuvartanat. Right? Samskarasya Anuvartanat. By this reason, the Sarpi is considered to be the best among the any of the Sneha. There are other qualities also of Sarpi. What will it do? Gritam, Pitta Anilaharam, Rasa Shukra Ojasam Hitam, Nirvapanam, Mrudukanam, Swaravarna Prasadanam. So these are the two lines which have to be always remembered by a Ayurveda student. Gritam Pitta Anilaharam. Grita is Pitta Anilahara. It is Pittahara as well as Vatahara. Then Rasa Shukra Ojasam Hitam. It is good for the Rasa Dhatu. Then it is also good for the Shukra Dhatu. You can also see that from Rasa to Shukra, all the Dhatus, it is good. That is why they have considered Rasa and Shukra. And not only once all the Dhatus are nourished well, then what is the essence of all the Dhatus? It is Ojas. So the Ojo Vardhana also, or Ojo Tarpana also happens with the help of Sarpi, use of Sarpi. Therefore, Rasa, Shukra, Ojasam Hitam, it is told. So therefore, all the Dhatus are well nourished with the help of Grita. Nirvapanam means Daha Prashamanam. It can also do the Daha Prashamana. Mrudukaram, it is beneficial in doing the Mrudukaranatva of the Sharira or of the Dhatus, etc. Swara Varna Prasadanam, the Swara and the Varna Prasadana happens. Swara Prasadana and Varna Prasadana both happens with the help of the use of Grita. So Sarpi or Grita is considered to be the best because of these gunas. Once again we will repeat. Gritam Pittanilaharam Rasa Shukrojasam Hitam Nirvapanam Mrudukaram Swaravarna Prasadanam. So this explanation has to be remembered. Then we will see about the Taila, the next Sneha. The Marutagnam Nacha Sleshma Vardhanam Balavardhanam Twachyam Ushnam Sthirakaram Tailam Yoni Vishodhanam. Taila also has having specific properties. It is having Vishesha Phalashruti. What is it? Marutagnam, it is Vatahara. Taila is the best Vatahara. Nacha Sleshma Vardhanam, at the same time, it will not do the Sleshma Vardhana also. It is not going to increase the Sleshma also. It is going to do only the Vataharana. Nacha Sleshma Vardhanam, Balavardhanam, whereas it is going to increase the Bala. You can see that in children, Taila is used for Abhyanga. Shuddha Bala Taila is used. Why? Or even the Ashwagandha Balalakshadi Taila is used, or even simple Tila Taila is also used. Why? It will do the Balavardhana, it will not do the Sleshma Vardhana, and also you can see that it will do the Marutagna, that is Vataharana also will happen with that. Twachyam, it is good for the skin. Twachyam. Ushnam, it is Ushna, that is Ushna Virya in nature. Sthirakaram, it will provide strength. That is why you can see that many of the wrestlers also apply oil, right? They do the Abhyanga with the Taila and then they build up their body. Then Tailam, Yoni Vishodhanam, specifically in Yoni Vyapat, Taila is used. You can see that in many of the cases wherein there is Medo Vruddhi, you will be seeing that there will be usage of Taila Pana. That is, for Sneha Pana we will be given Taila, like Murchita Tila Taila, or any kind of specific Tailas will be administered in case of the Yoni Vyapat, because it is specifically told that it is Yoni Vishodhanam. So Taila is specifically told as Yoni Vishodhanam, not only for Snehapana but for Yoni Purana etc. also it will be used. For Uttara Basti also many times Taila is preferred rather than any other form of Sneha. Of course, if it depends upon the nature of the disease, if the Medas or Sleshma is involved, then usually, or vata is more involved, then taila will be usually preferred. Then the kala, that is when the prayoga of these sneha has to be done, that is internally. If you consider the internal administration of sneha, then what should be the kala or what should be the prayoga kala? This has been mentioned in the 18th shloka. Sarpihi sharati patavyam vasa majja cha madhave tailam pravrashi natyushna shite sneham pivenaraha. So when this sarpi has to be administered, it has to be administered in the Sharad Rutu. Sarpihi Sharati Patavyam. Sharad Rutu. Why? Because Pitta Prakopa is seen in the Sharad Rutu. Therefore, this sarpi is considered to be Pittanilaharam. It is told Gritam Pittanilaharam, not just Leshma Vardhanam. Shukra, Rasa Shukra Vajasamhitam. So, the sarpi is used usually in the Sharad Rutu. That is in the Pitta Prakopaka Kala it is used. Right? Especially for Shodhanartha, also you can consider that these are the indications. So sarpihi sharadi patavyam, sarpi has to be given in the Sharad Rutu. Vasa majja cha madhave, vasa and majja has to be given in the madhava. Madhava means Vaishakha Masa. The Vaishakha Masa, usually vasa and majja can be administered, right, because it is a little ushnakala. Then tailam pravarshi natyushna shite sneham pivenaraha. Tailam, taila has to be provided in the pravrushi. Pravrit kala means what? The Ashada and Shravana Masa, Now the coming Masa is the Ashada, right? Ashada Masa. After the Jeshta Masa, which will be ending with ending on 21st, from 22nd it is Ashada Masa. So you can see that Ashada, there is early rains, early monsoon season is called as Pravrit Rutu. So in that particular time you are supposed to give the Taila, right? Tailam Pravrashi, Natyushna Shite Sneha Pivenaraha. That is in Ati Ushna and Ati Shita Kalas. Usually Taila is not preferred. Okay? Or Sneha is not preferred. Any kind of Sneha is not preferred in the Ati Shita and Ati Ushna Kala. Usually it is not done. Vata Pittadiko Ratra Ushne Chapi Pivenaraha. What time of the day it has to be administered. Now we have seen the seasons, right? In the earlier shloka we have seen the seasons in which these Chaturveda Sneha have to be administered. Now we will see in the time of the day, with respect to the time of the day, when these Snehas should be used or should not be used. Vata Pittadiko Ratra Ushne Chapi Pipennaraha Sleshmadiko Diva Shite Pibecha Amala Bhaskare. Vata Pittadiko, in the Vata Pitta condition, and it should be given in the and also in the Ushna Kala, Ushno Chapi Pipenaraha. In the Ushna Kala, it can be given in the Ratri, because there are reasons. Once again, they have enlisted the reasons what will happen if it is not given in that particular time. That is explained in the subsequent shloka. Sleshmadiko Divashite Pipecha Amala Bhaskare. In the Sleshmadika conditions, you are supposed to give it in the daytime. Okay, and also when you have to give in the daytime, there is a condition. Whenever you are giving any kind of sneha, administering any kind of sneha in the daytime, you should make sure that it is the sun is bright. Amala bhaskare. Amala means it should be very clear. The sky should be clear. That is, there should be no clouds. The cloudy weather should not be there. On those days, you are supposed to give the sneha. You can see that when the cloudy weather is there, when there is a depression in the climate, then usually many of the doctors, that is Ayurveda doctors, will say that snehapana cannot be done today, right? Even nasya procedures are nasya, any kind of snehana procedures are avoided on a cloudy day, right? So this is the reason, right? So what are the exact reasons why, or what is the vyapat seen, or what are the things which are consequences seen after if this particular rule is not followed? That has been told in the subsequent shloka, in the 28th shloka. Ati ushne va diva pito vata pittadikena va murcha pipasa unmadam kamala va samirayet. You can see that there will be these particular consequences. There can be murcha, pipasa means excessive thirst, unmada, kamala va samirayet. These can increase. Why? When we in the Atyushna Kala, or in if you are going to give it in the diva, that is if in daytime, if you are going to give in vata pittadika conditions, also in the Ushnakala, if you are going to give it in the daytime, then you will see that there will be consequences like this. Therefore it is given in the Ratro. That is why Ratra Ushne Chapi Pipinarva. It is told that in Vata Pittadika and Ushnakala, you better give the Sneha in the Ratrikala or early night. Actually, it is not late night, it is early night. Okay. Then Shite Ratro Piban Sneha Naraha Sleshmadiko Piva. That is in the Shita Kala or even in the Sleshmadika conditions, when there is excessive predominance of the Sleshma. In those conditions, if you are going to give in the Ratri, then what will happen? Anaham Aruchi Shlulam Pandutava Samruchati. You can see that Anaha will be seen. Anaha means bloating will be seen, or Aruchi will be seen. There is no taste in the food. You can also see that there will be Shula, that is pain in the abdomen, and Panduta, that is the person will not be able to have proper nourishment, and because of that there can be Panduta also. That is, the dhatus are affected. There is the dhatvagnis will be affected if this is done. Therefore, you have to make sure that the time of administration of the Sneha also is followed properly according to the seasons and according to the dosha adhikyata. Then you can see that what is the Anupana. Why you administer? Okay, you have fixed that the proper time and also the proper Sneha which has to be administered for the patient. Now, after giving the Sneha Dravya, what has to be administered? Like for example, whenever you take any kind of medicine, after just consuming the medicine, it can be vati, it can be a syrup, it can be a leha, etc. Just after that, you need something to to follow. What is that? That is called as Anupana. That is, if you are consuming a tablet, immediately you will take some jala. So what kind of jala you will be taking? Usually you take Ushna jala whenever you are consuming any of the medicine, because Ushna jala is considered to be Anupana, a universal Anupana, right, for any of the Dravyas. So here you can see that specifically they have mentioned specific Anupanas for specific Sneha. So Jalam Mushnam Gritam Peyam Yushas Tailanushashyate Vasamagnostu Mandaha Syat Sarveshu Ushnamathambuva. So you can see that in general, Sarvam, that is in general, Ushnambu only can be taken as Anupana. But you can see that in Grita, Sarpi specifically, Ushna Jala has been told. For Taila, that is, if a person is administered with Taila, there is Tailapana is done. After that, Yusha can be administered as the Anupana. Then Vasa and Majja. For the Vasa and Majja, if Vasa and Majja are administered, then it is better to go for the Manda preparation of Manda as the Anupana, right? Anupaschat Piyate, that is after administration of the Dravya, especially after the administration of the Sneha Dravyas, you can go for the Manda Prayoga. Then you can see that whether these Snehas can be administered as such, or it has to be mixed with some other Dravyas. That has to be known. Of course, it can be taken as such. That is Achapeya, it is called. Further in the further shloka, it will be told. But they have also given a Vicharana. Vicharana means you are going to mix it with other Dravyas or give in a different form. So what is this Vicharana Sneha? We will be seeing in the next subsequent shloka. Odanascha vilepi cha raso vamsam payodati ivaguhu supashakau cha yushaha kambalikaha khadaha saktavaha tilapishtam cha madhyam lehastateva cha bhaksham abhyanjanam bastistatha cha uttarabastayah gandushaha karnatailam cha nastah karnakshi tarpanam chaturvimshati rityeta snehasya pravicharanaha. There are 24 types of Sneha Pravicharana. That is 24 methods in which you can administer the Sneha. It is not that only through oral route you are going to give it. That is, oral route is of course the best route, and also the maximum absorption will happen with that. But if you are intending the Snehana to be done in a specific Avayava, or you are going to change the method, or if not in the oral method, but you want to target a specific organ or a specific Srotas, then you can go for the Pravicharana Sneha. Or you can also go with the Pravicharana Sneha if the person is not able to take the Achapana, or directly if he is not able to take it, then you can give it with other Dravyas and then administer it. So there are different modes or different methods in which you can administer the Sneha, and those methods are called as the Pravicharana Sneha, and there are 24 methods through which you can do it. Therefore you can see that Pravicharyate, Avacharyate, Anukalpanena Upayujyate. anena iti pravicharanam odanadayah. Odana means what? Odana means anna or the ahara, whatever we take. So you can see that this pravicharana, there is pravicharana sneha is a method of administering the sneha dravyas. How avacharyate, there is administration. Anukalpanena, anukalpana means different kinds of kalpana you are going to make, different kinds of forms of administration of the medicine is called as anukalpana. Anukalpete upayujyate. After that you are going to use it. You are not going to use it directly, you are going to use it in an indirect way, or you are going to mix it with other forms of ahara, odanadi, or you are going to give it in a different mode. So these are the 24 types of the anukalpanas which have been framed for the administration of the sneha dravya. Okay. You can see that the abhyangadi are not considered here. Abhyanga, etc. are not considered here because they are external things. Internal administration is usually considered here. Some of the considerations like Karna Purana, Nasta Karma, Akshitarpana also have been administered, have been included here as Pravicharana Sneha because they will enter into the body. Whereas in Abhyanga, only the virya of the Aushadha enters into the Sharira through the Tvacha. It is not that the Taila will enter or the Sneha, whichever you are doing the Abhyanga, that will enter the Sneha, the Sharira. Whereas in Nasya Karma or Karna Tarpana, that is Karna Purana or Akshitarpana, etc., you are going to see that Sneha enters the avayavas specifically. Therefore, wherever there is entry of the Sneha into the Sharira, all those things are considered to be the Pravicharana Sneha. So therefore, the 24 methods or modes of administration of the Sneha Dravya are the examples of how to administer a Sneha Dravya into the Sharira. Right? So therefore, Abhyanga, the external things have not been considered here. Fine. So now we said that along with this, there are different methods in which we can do that. There is one method wherein we are supposed to take it just orally and consume it. So that is called as Achapeya. Achapeyastu yaha sneha na tamahur vicharanam. It is not the vicharana sneha, it is just the Achapana. Achapana, Acha means Swacha. It is without mixing anything, you are going to just take the sneha. Snehasya sa bishak drishtaha kalpaha pratamika kalpaha. So it is called as the pratamika kalpaha. Pratamika kalpana means prathama kalpana. It is the shreshta kalpana. That is the best thing. But if you intend different with the intention of giving snehana to the particular avayava, or even if the patient is not able to take the Achapeya, then you are going to use the vicharana sneha. But anyway, the Achapeya is considered to be the best kind of administration of the sneha. Okay, that's why it is called as Prathama Kalpikaha. Prathama Kalpikaha means the Shreshta Kalpana. Now you can see that these are all kalpanas, right? That is the mode of administration of a dravya has been explained in this particular chapter. Therefore, it comes under the Kalpana Chatushka. That is, we are going to explain different modes of the administration of different kinds of medicaments. Therefore, this is an apt chapter to be in the Kalpana Chatushka. So, when you do these combinations of Vicharana Sneha, that is, Sneha can be administered in different ways, of course. But there are, whatever ahara you take, it will be composed of 6 rasa. That is, Shadbihi. That is, only 6 rasas are there, right? Madhuramla, Swadvamla Lamana, Katu Tikta Kashayakaha. So, through these 6 rasas only the combinations can be made. Therefore, they have explained that how these rasa combinations can be used for the different preparing different types of the sneha dravya or formulation of sneha. So rasaischa upahitaha sneha. Rasaischa upahitaha, that is, if you are going to mix these sneha dravyas along with the different rasa, then sneha samasa vyasa yogibihi, that is, if you are going to combine or classify, that is, samasa means samasataha means in a short way or in a combined way. That is, if you are going to combine samasa, or you are going to do the vyasa, that is classify, or you are going to separate it, then okay, based on that is based on the permutation, the combination, Shadbihi Trishu Shashtidha Sankhyaam, that is 6 rasas. with the 6 rasas, if you are going to do the permutation combination, then you end up in a number. What is that number? It is a 63. The 63 combinations can be made, or formulations can be made along with the sneha based on the 6 rasas. Sankhyaam prapnoti ekascha kevalaha. And then one more you will get that ekascha kevalaha, that is there is one kind of sneha which is called as achapana or prathamaka kalpika, which we have discussed earlier. So that if you are going to include, then evam etas chatushashtihi snehanam pravicharana. So if you are going to combine all these things, then there will be 63 combinations with the help of the permutation combination of 6 rasas, that is samasa and vyasataha in combination. That is, for example, swadu and tikta, swadu and lavana, swadu and kashaya, swadu and amla. Like that, if you are going to do the combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and all the 6, then you get the number as 63. 63 combinations can be made. And then you have the achapana, of course. If you add that, there will be 64. Therefore, you can see that evam etas chatushashtihi. So you get the number 64. 64 kinds of sneha prayoga can be done with the help of different rasas. Okay. And how it can be done, for what purpose it is done? Oka, Rutu, Vyati Purushan, Yojya, Prayojya, Janata Bhavet. Why it is done? Because the Oka means the Abhyasa. Oka means Abhyasa. In Satmya you might have studied about this. Oka Satmya. Oka Satmya means it is Abhyasa Satmya. It is whatever we are habituated to. So therefore, Oka, based on the Abhyasa, some people do not like Lavana at all. Some people do not like Amla at all. Some people do not like swadu. So you can leave that. You can go for other combinations, right? So therefore, Oka, this based on the Abhyasa, you can go for the prayoga of the sneha. Based on the Rutu, you can go for the pravicharana. And also based on the Purusha, because Purusham Viksha is that is individualistic approach is more important for us. So therefore, Purushan Prayojya Janata Bhavet. Based on the Purusha, the constitution of the Prakriti, the Vyadhi, etc., we can go for the usage of these pravicharana sneha. Then comes the matra of the sneha. How much matra has to be given? That is the question asked. What is a matra to be given? How much quantity it should be given? So in general, the classification of the sneha matra is divided into 3 major categories. That is the uttama matra, madhyama matra and the avara matra. So uttama matra, if you consider, it is told in this particular shloka, in the 29th shloka, ahoratramah kritsam ardaham cha pratikshate pradhana madhyama hrisva sneha matra janam prati. So the jarana kala is considered here. What is jarana kala? That is the kala or the time taken for the digestion of the sneha is to be considered as a criteria for the administration of the sneha dravya, or for the ascertaining the matra of the sneha. The quantity of sneha will depend upon how much time it will take for its digestion. So that is the jara kala has been considered here. So therefore, ahoratram ahaha kritsnam ardaham cha pratikshate. Very specifically, they have told that ahoratram, if the jarana kala, if for example, if you take a sneha dravya in a certain quantity, for example, you take sarpi. If it takes ahoratra, that is 1 day and night, that is 24 hours completely. That is aha means day, ratri means the night. So 1 complete day, if it is going to take for the digestion of the sneha which you have consumed, then that particular matra is considered to be the uttama matra. Then kritsnam, aha kritsnam means if you take a particular matra and it takes 1 complete day, that is aha means kritsnam, the complete day, if it is taking 12 hours completely to get digested, then that particular sneha matra is considered to be madhyama matra. And ardaham, that is ardha aha, that is if it is taking only half a day, that is half a day means 6 hours, that is in a day, that is in a aha, if you have only the half of the time which is required for the digestion of this particular sneha dravya, then that particular matra is considered to be the hrisva matra. Okay, so uttama matra is of the sneha means which takes complete aho and ratri, that is 1 day and night, that is around 24 hours. That is considered as uttama matra. Madhyama matra is the sneha matra which is getting digested in one kritsna aha, that is complete day. If it is getting digested in 12 hours, it is considered to be madhyama matra. If it is going to get digested in the ardha aha, that is half a day, that means around 6 hours, then it is considered to be the hrisva matra. So based on the Agnibala, based on the Vyadhi, based on the Rutu, and also based on the Bala of the Purusha and the Satmya, this Sneha Matra can be ascertained. Usually this Sneha Matra will be ascertained with the help of Jarakala only. That is based on the Agni, it will be assessed. So you can say that tasam prayogan vakshyami purusham prati prabhuta sneha nitya ye kshut pipasa saha naraha pavakascha uttama balo yesham ye cha uttama bale kulminaha sarpa dashtascha visarpa upahataschya ye unmattaha krisham mutrascha ghadavarchasa evacha pibeyuhu uttama matram tasyaha pane gunachrunu विकारा क्षमयेत्येषां शीघ्रं सम्यक् प्रयोजिता दोषानुकर्षिणी मात्रा सर्वमार्गानुसारिणी बल्या पुनर्नवकरी शरीरेन्द्रिय चेतसाम्. So you can see that the benefits of Uttama Matra of Sneha have been told in a very exaggerated way also here, and you can see that the indications of the Uttama Matra of Sneha has been told. That is, in whom all we can go for the Uttama Matra of the Sneha. Who all, you can see tasam prayogan vakshami purusham prati prabhuta sneha nitya ye kshut pipasa saha naraha. That is the persons who can tolerate the kshut and pipasa, that is hunger and thirst, and prabhuta sneha nityaha, that is those who are consuming enormous quantity of sneha. We can see that some people take a lot of sneha. In some of the parts of in North India, we can see in Rajasthan or in Gujarat, etc., they take good amount of sarpi or even taila or even kshira, dadhi, etc. They take in more quantity as compared to South Indians, right? So they are okasatme, that is, they are abhyasataha, they are already having the consumption of this particular sneha dravya. Therefore, they can be given uttama matra. They need not be given hrisva matra of sneha pana because they can digest it. Pavakascha uttama balo, that is pavaka, that is agni bala if it is good. Pavakascha uttama balo, uttama bala of the pavaka means agni, which is present. Then eshamcha uttamam bale, and also people who have uttama bala, that is sharira bala if it is good, then you can go for the uttama matra of sneha pana. Then gulminaha, in certain diseases wherein the vata vriddhi is seen much, or you need the sneha much because there is more of rukshana, there you can go for the uttama matra of sneha, like gulma, sarpadashta, visarpa, then or also in ghadavarchas, or even in the kruchra mutra and unmada. You can see that in unmada patients, so much of sneha can be administered. Usually people cannot take so much of sneha, but in unmada, patients of unmada, they take a lot of sneha. They can be administered more than 200, 300, up to 400 ml. We have seen that the sneha pana will be administered in unmata, that is unmada patients. So that such will be the need of the sneha in those particular conditions, especially in gulma, ghadavarchas or kruchra mutrata, etc. Right? So these things are to be considered. There is vyadhi also has to be considered whenever you are considering the matra of the sneha pana. Then pibet cha uttama matra tasyaha pani gunachanu. There are certain gunas of uttama matra of sneha. What are those gunas? Doshanukarshini matra. It will be it should also be doshan anukarshini matra. That is, it should specify the dosha. It should remove the dosha. That also should be considered here. Sarva marganusarini balya punarnavi sharira indriya chetasam. It should provide more bala to the sharira, and also you can see that it is punarnavakari. Punarnavakari should means it should regain the strength of the dhatus, etc. It should be able to provide the effect of almost the rasayana, punarnavakari, and there is rejuvenation should happen. Sharira indriya chetasam. What should get rejuvenated? Sharira should get rejuvenated, punarnavakari, then indriya punarnavakari, and chetasam. Chetasam is manaha. Manas also should become punarnava. So these things are the effects of the uttama matra of sneha pana. Now we have the madhyama matra of snehapana, you can see that arumshi, spota, pidaka, kandu, pama, पामाभिर् अर्दिताः कुष्टिनश्च प्रमीढाश्च वातशोणितश्च शोणिका शोणितिकाश्च ये नाति बह्वाशिनः श्चैव मृदुकोष्ठास्तथैव च पिबेयुः मध्यमां मात्रा मध्यमश्चापि ये बले. So in Madhyama Bala persons, the persons who are having Madhyama Bala, those particular persons or persons who are suffering with these diseases, the above diseases like Arumshika. Arushka means Arumshika, Spota, Pidaka, Kandu, Pama, Ardita or Kushta, Prameha, then Vatashonita, etc. Or people who cannot take much amount of food, that is not ati bahvashinaha. Some people will have good amount of abhyavarana shakti. So abhyavarana shakti is less, then you cannot give uttama matra of snehapana, you can give only the madhyama matra of snehapana. Or persons who are having mridu koshta, there also you cannot give uttama snehapana because it will not get completely digested, it can get eliminated out. Therefore you have to go for madhyama amount of snehapana. पात्रैषा मंद विभ्रंशाः न च अतिबलहारिणी सुखेन च स्नेहयति शोधनार्थं च युज्यते. ये तु वृद्धाश्च बालाश्च सुकुमाराः सुखोचिताः रक्तकोष्ठ त्वम् अहितं येषां मंदाग्नयश्च ये ज्वर अतिसार कासाश्च येषां चिरसमुत्थिताः स्नेहमात्रं पिबेयुस्ते ह्रस्वां च avarabale. That is the persons who are having avarabala, who are suffering with jvara, atisara, or those who are having the less agnibala, those who are vruddha, bala, sukumara, or who are usually sukhopavishta, that is they cannot work much. Then rakta koshtinascha, or even they are having mandagni, in those particular conditions you cannot give madhyama matra or even the uttama matra. You can go only for the hrisva matra. Hrisva matra means the sneha matra which can be digested in ardha aha, that is half of the day, that is around 6 hours. If it can get digested, that is considered to be the avara matra or the hrisva matra of the snehapana. That only have to be given. परिहारे सुखाचैषा मात्रा स्नेहन ब्रह्मणि वृष्याबल्या निराबाध चिरं च अपि अनुवर्तते. So if you are giving or administering the snehapana in this particular matra, then it will be beneficial or it will lead to sukha. Right? There is a proper snehana will happen, and also you can see that the sneha will have a brahmana effect that will be seen. Then you can see that in specific condition, there is in purusha viksha it is told, no? So for answering that they have told, there is vata pitta prakrutayoh vata pitta vikarinaha chakshuh kamaha kshatakshinaha vruddha valastatha balaha ayuh prakarsha kamasha balavarna swararthini पुष्टिकामाः प्रजाकामाः सौकुमार्यार्थिनश्चये दीप्त्योजः स्मृतिः मेध अग्निबुद्धीन्द्रियबलार्थिनी पिबेयुः सर्पिराताश्च दाहशस्त्रविषाग्निभिः. So the specific indications of the sarpi has been given. If you are giving sarpipana, what all can be seen, that is what are the benefits which are usually seen because of the sarpipana. Vata pitta prakrutiyo vata pitta vikarinaha, there is vata pitta vikara and also vata pitta vyadhi. If it is seen, there is predominance of vata or predominance of pitta, then you can see that this sarpi can be administered. It will be very much beneficial. Okay, so you can see that vata pitta prakriti, also you can go for sarpipana. Vata pitta vikarinaha, that is wherein there is vata pitta vikriti, you are going to administer the sarpi. So further now they are explaining the benefits and also the usage of the sarpi, vasa, majja and taila. Sarpi, taila, vasa and majja. Sarpi, taila, vasa and majja. Everything they are going to explain. So in sarpi they have told chakshuh kama kshatakshinaha vruddha balasthatha abalaha. Chakshuh kama, that is the persons who want to have good vision. Kshataha, one who is injured. Kshina, one who is emaciated, Vriddaha, who is become old, Sthavira, then Bala, Bala means in small children, and also Abala, that is those who are having less strength, or Abala is also considered as 3. So in 3 or in Abala, the persons who are having less strength, you can go for Sarpi Prayoga. Ayuhu Prakarsha Kamascha, that is for increasing the Ayu. Kamascha Balavarna Swararthini, that is those who desire for good Bala, good Varna, and good Swara. Bala, Varna, Swara, if they want to have good goodness in all these things, that is the special rejuvenation of all these factors, then they can go for Sarpipana. Pushti kamaha praja kamaha, the persons who want to gain weight and also get nourished well, they can go for this particular prayoga of Sarpi prayoga. Then prajakama, that is in progeny, you can see that those who in many kinds of Vrisha yogas, Grita yogas have been told. Therefore prajakamaha. Then Saukumaryarthinaschaye, Saukumaryarthina means the softness or mruduta will be seen. Sukumarata, whoever desires, for them Sarpi is considered the best. Deeptyojaha smriti meda agni buddhi indriya balarthinaha, those who have the desire of increasing their ojas, increasing the smriti, increasing the medha, increasing the agni, increasing the buddhi, increasing the indriya. So those who have the desire of having increasing all these things, especially agni, oja, smriti, medha, then agni, buddhi, indriya bala, especially not indriya, increasing the indriya bala, increasing the indriya bala, they can be administered with Sarpi. Piveyuhu sarpiratascha dahashastra vishagnimihi. They cannot be Sarpi can also be administered for people who are desiring the above factors, and also it is used for Daha Shastra Vishagnibhi. For Daha also it is one of the best dravya which can be used. Then Shastra, there is Shastra Abhighata, if there is any kind of injury, then you can go for it. And also in the Shastra Prayoga, that is when you are doing Shastra Karma, after that also for healing, Grita is considered the best. Then Visha, there is Visha Jushta also, Grita is considered to be best. Agni, that is whenever there are certain kind of burns, then immediately you can see that there is Prayoga of the Sarpi. Okay. So further on we will be discussing the gunas and also the prayoga of the taila, vasa, majja, etc. in the subsequent classes. Also we will be studying about the specific lakshanas, that is atisnigdha, ayoga, atiyoga, and samyak yoga of the snehapana, and the other aspects, the other questions which are asked by Agnivesha, and the answers which are answered by the Atreya Punarvasu in the next chapter or in the next portion. So for today we have already discussed the questions which are asked by Acharya Agnivesha in this Snehadhyaya. So we have come across, that is the yoni of the sneha. What are the yonis of sneha? Classifications, that is the sthavara and the jangama sneha. In the sthavara sneha, what all we use, in this jangama sneha, what all we use, which are the chaturvidya sneha which we usually come across. And we also have considered the sneha prayoga kala, when it has to be administered, that is in which season it has to be administered, in what time of the day it has to be administered, based on the dosha also we have seen. And also we have seen the anupana, what kind of anupana has to be given for the different kinds of sneha. We have come across with the pravicharana sneha, that is the modes of administration of the sneha, how it has to be done, that is anu vicharyate, how it has to be administered to the patient, and what all methods that we have come across. We also have come across with the matra, that is the dosage of the sneha which has to be administered for the patient whenever it is taken orally. And this dosage will be based upon the the janana kala, so how it has to be administered, and what are the conditions in which the uttama, madhyama and hrisva sneha matra should be administered, what are the conditions, that has been discussed in detail. Further we are discussing now with the specific gunas of grita, taila, vasa and majja, for what all diseases it will be useful. Okay, so in the next shloka we will discuss about the gunas and the Amayika Prayoga of the Taila Vasa Majja, and then we will go through the further aspects which has been explained in the Sneha Adhyaya. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, you can post it in the on the page and also in the YouTube channels in the comments. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.